Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard, and thank you so much for tuning into my personal channel here at VickiDillard.tv. I'm so pleased that you are with me tonight for this very, very late surprise pop-up broadcast. I had some work to do and some technical kinks to try to work out tonight. So I thought that I would pop in really, really quick. Of course, so much has been going on. And to no surprise, yes, I'm not seeing any comments yet. Let me see. Like I said, I know I popped in on you tonight, but it looks like I am live, family. But as you come in, be sure to come in, giving us a big thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to come in, giving us a big thumbs up, and share the broadcast. I want you to also make sure that you are subscribe to the Vicki Dillard TV channel here. I know so many of you all from years and years and years ago are used to. Some of you all found me years and years ago on other networks and broadcasts that I was on over the years. Looks like I'm seeing somebody come on in. It says Elijah. Okay, yes. Okay, I'm seeing some of you, Elisha. I don't know what some of y'all's handles are saying, but anyway, it's good to see you tonight. I see one of my moderators, Miss Lisa. How are y'all doing? You're gorgeous, always looking so pretty. Thank you so much for your kind words. I was up so late. Y'all, this is super late for me. Baby, goddess has got to be in the bed, baby. And y'all know I have to take care of my health and stuff too. But I said I had to work really late tonight. And so I am just wanting to tap in with you very quickly. Hi, Precious. Okay, I see a couple of you all coming on in. Family. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button and share. You all know that I don't have, as of yet, one particular day or time that I go live on my channel. So I'm here when I'm here. Of course, I'm still doing media in other places and spaces. And to learn about where you can watch my broadcast and the schedules for those, be sure to connect by subscribing to my email list from my website at VickiPlanet.com. VickiPlanet.com. Hey, Miss Lisa, you are more beautiful queen of all time. Oh, she's so precious. Y'all are so sweet. Thank you so much. All the razzle dazzle for the people. Somebody else, y'all, please. Okay, y'all, listen. Y'all sleepy? Are y'all sleepy? Why y'all doing this? Who told y'all? Tell me. I won't tell nobody. I love y'all so much. Listen, family, for seriously, it's really late. So let me hurry up and get to where I'm going really quick, okay? And y'all hear me whispering like I got babies in the bed or something. Talk black to me. That's how late it is, y'all. That's how late it is. Listen, we're going to try to put the website in the chat. That one brother, what is that? VLGR, your gift is blessed, beloved, 1,000-fold. Your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Thank you so much for your support. Okay, family, in the chat, you should see my website. That's where you can order. Y'all know I do an annual calendar, but this year's calendar is me. Yes. A beautiful picture of me every single month, beloved. You have, and of course I put some pictures in there that I never made public, baby. And yes, a couple of 3 of them kind of steamy, but it is for both men and women. I believe that you're going to so love it, baby. The response I've been getting from those that got the pre-sales is outrageous. So we're still in the first month, so I bought some extra ones so that everybody else can get it. Of course, the price went up just a little bit because I had to give my day ones, my people that got in early, my early birds rather, I had to give them, baby, some the stuff for the stuff and the stuff. I see your gifts are blessed always. First class media, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold, beloved. Marjorie, your gift is blessed 1,000. It says my #1 fan. Oh, I love it so much. Y'all are so precious. Your gifts are blessed 1,000-fold, family. Family, like I said, make sure you give us a big thumbs up, share. That's very important. Why do I always emphasize that? Because in modern media, when you engage online, it makes it more likely that notifications are generated and sent out so that others will know that we're here. Yes, fam, I want to thank you all so much for tuning into my personal channel. Again, you all know that I still give content, national, international content in other places, so that you'll get the details about that. Because I'm changing up some stuff, trying to level up some stuff, baby, so that you get the details of that. Make sure you stay connected, so that way my team will send you an email to let you all know where you can find that, my work, and some of my other things that I've got going on. Yes, like my monthly mastermind, very low cost. I do spiritual teachings every single month. There's a whole bunch of other yummy discounts that my students get. We're like a family. And as I complete the broadcast today, I want you to understand that my spiritual school, what's going on in the world today, is why I have my monthly mastermind, the Vicki Dillard Mystery School. I have 2 other high-end academies that are now closed. I have one just for men called Treasures of Darkness, and just for women, the Isis Goddess Mystery Temple, the gold tier, because I have taught them in times past to my ladies. It's a 3-month course for my ladies, a 6-month course for my men. Both of my special academies are closed. The only one that's open now is my monthly mastermind. That's a very low cost, a few dollars a month, baby. You in, and you're getting powerful downloads and revelation. If you want to attend my next high-end schools and fill out an application for that, you can learn more about that. But you can just get on my waiting list in the upcoming days. Again, subscribe to my email list at vickiplanet.com so that you're notified about all of that. Yes? Okay, family, without further ado, let's get to where we're going. I just want to say just a few things about what's been going on. Yes, family, thank you so much for your support. Somebody said, I'm at work listening, Talk Black to me. Tropical Punch, you've been with me for a long time, haven't you, precious? Mwah, mwah, mwah. Is a mystery school for manifestation. Because the mystery school is, yes, absolutely. My spiritual teachings are universal, which means it doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter what spiritual system you come from, beloved. It's important. And it's because it crosses all religious and spiritual barriers, because my teachings are universal. So it doesn't matter what spiritual references I pull from, my teachings and keys and principles are applicable to day-to-day life. So yes, I also give sacred rituals that I do not give to the public for manifestation. And my teachings, more importantly, are the top thing. So my insights are remaking you, but they're also activating something in you. Now that's important. How many of you all know that everything you see came from everything you can't see? How many of you all know that no matter what major religious systems that still exist, and to be honest, no matter what other, to be honest, more ancient alternative spiritual systems that exist, all of them placed an emphasis on the power of word. Why is that important? The reason that's important, who you hear, what you hear, because everything you see came from everything that you can't see. And the ancients, ancient spiritualists, practitioners, philosophers, all knew that word, whether you call them mantras, prayers, songs, hymns, petitions, there's no spiritual system, there's no religion that does not put a major emphasis on the power of word. So who you listen to and what you listen to shapes and changes and alters the trajectory of your life. Did you hear what I said right there? It is not something that you need to take lightly. I was on Brother Radio Rich, formerly known as Brother Rich, but he goes by Brother Radio Rich now, Radiohead rather. And I was on there with the panel of other spiritualists not too long ago. I think his channel is 363 Empire now. It was formerly known as 363 Black Magic 363, but I think it's 363 Empire. Listen. One of the things that I mentioned in the course of our conversation is that the etymology of the word idea, the origin of it is in the family and connected to this notion of what an entity is. I'm going to leave that right there. It is impossible to overestimate. It is impossible to exaggerate the profundity of word, which is why it matters who you listen to, which is also why they come against Vicki Dillard like they don't do everybody else. Where is my gavel? How many of y'all know that the Vicki Show is a home of the hand claps and the gavel raps? It's not just because you see other people copying Vicki or saying stuff that Vicki says. Even if they're not copying me, let's just say it's a regular topic. Oh, so-and-so said that. Oh, I knew that. It's about the power and the energy in my mouth that causes a reaction in people that even if somebody else that you consider to be a revolutionary says, it don't hit the same. It's the spirit, the unseen substance that's laced in my words. Did you hear what I said right there? That's how you know who you ought to really be listening to. Ariel just said that's a fact. Lisa said preach. This is important. This is why they don't want you to listen to me. This is even some of the reasons why that some of the networks and people that I formerly worked with that mistreated me, that dogged me, that just did dumb and stupid things. Others that come against me, like former White House press secretaries, like former The View TV host, like cable network folks that have reached out and upset with me, like celebrities, like why over the years? Ask yourself, why do these people trip over what Vicki Dillard says? It's a spirit attached to what I say. And that's why you would be out of your mind, not to make sure you are not doing everything you can to elevate and to support. Don't come to me asking me, did you hear what so-and-so said? You better go to your little favorite people and ask them, what do you think about what Vicki said? The reality of the new world is coming because I said so. I just said something right there. The mother tongue. I just said something else right there. I said the mother tongue. Baby, if you're connected to my schools and my teaching, then you'll get the esoteric meaning of what I just said. It is the reason why many of your scriptures, most of your scriptures are corrupted to dog the woman or to silence the woman or to slander the woman. Because the powers that shouldn't be, listen, good. Don't want you to listen to your mama, your ancient black cosmic mama, to keep you stuck in the counter matrix like a rat who's doomed to die. And even the most conscious of you ninjas that are out there, almost every single one of you have something in common through your religions and your spiritual systems. It is a disrespect, and it's a secondary and a tertiary position that you think that the yoni that brought you into this world is supposed to take a back seat. And even though your ancient black mamas never lorded her high spiritual authority over you, it was your ancient mothers that made emperors. It was your ancient mothers that made kings. It was your ancient mothers that blessed chiefs. It was your ancient mothers that the military leaders would come to before they ship-shaped anything. Baby, let me tell you something. Oh, you fool. The reason I focus a lot about the ancient original Black Vatican and the fact that it was your ancient Black matriarchal mothers that ran it, and that was the original under many names around the world. Because it was literally the cultural, political, spiritual, architectural, scientific, every major sphere of people activity that you can think of, arts and entertainment, military, the whole nine. She was the one that was responsible for bringing the world and multiple civilizations into golden ages. Let me tell you why the powers that shouldn't be don't like us. You know why they don't want you to acknowledge your ancient black mamas? Listen good to the portal to the unseen worlds. Did you hear what I said? Let me help you real quick. Let me help you real quick. This is why some of you brothers Your woman can say something to you, and you would tell her that her mouth is the reason why you slapped her. But if your boss dogs you and treats you like the slave that you act, you show restraint. Ain't that something? If a Latina gets mad at you, y'all always call her spicy. If a Karen talk crazy to you, it don't bother you. But when your Black woman says something, it hits unlike anybody else's words. Didn't I say something right there? It does not move you to want to kill her. And that's how some of y'all act. That white man will dog your Black behind. But if your Black woman says something, you would want to take her out. That's a spirit in you. It's an authority that some of us have, and some of us have misused it. Not every Black woman is an ancient Sybil. Not every Black woman is a divine feminine that was meant to be in a high spiritual ranking. But can I assure you something? Those that were all Black women. And we blessed the world with our magic. And now you turned around and dogged us. Let me tell you why you don't want to listen to your ancient Black mamas. Listen good. Because you men out there, a lot of you, and y'all know I'm more pro-masculine than anybody. So you better not think for 1 second you can come check me about nothing. I've had your back harder than you little weirdo manosphere alkalites. You little sick, twisted cults out there. I was pro-masculine and all you little pitiful pieces of trash put together. You little dirty rats. How you gonna dislike a woman? Sicko. Your sick behind. How can you justify that with your weak behind? You ain't never gonna be nothing around other men sitting there gossiping about a woman. I'm 47 years of age from Mississippi. Men didn't used to do stuff like that. When a man was complaining about a woman all the time, it was proof he couldn't get one. Didn't no man do that? Like that? That used to be a shame. You used to be humiliated to say that. Didn't no man just go out and complain? Other brothers will look at you like you just ain't got no swag. With your swagless behind. No finesse. But back to my point. You know the reason why they don't want your ancient Black mamas where she ought to be, by divinely guiding the world? Like I said, every Black woman doesn't mean she's a Sybil, meaning a divine prophetess or priestess. Listen, your ancient Black mamas, when she was divinely guiding the world, she didn't need to create a vaccine to kill off half the world. See, that's you little sick, little twisted current world rulers. She worked with other high-ranking masculines. She didn't mind sharing power, weirdo, and then go tell the man to go shut up and sit down. The way she guided the planet was with justice. She didn't need to always be involved in war and commit genocide all over the planet. She didn't need to go invade people's lands and steal all their resources. But that's your tendency. I said that's your tendency, sick self. And this is the reason why you can't stand her. And so when she used her feminine energy, when she used her essence, her body, and her cosmic connection to rule the world, you tell her to cover up. You tell her to stop shaking. You tell her to be still. Because the way in which we wielded power is very different than the way some of you do. And look at the state of the world. Your resistance to your ancient mother is a demonic, diabolical spirit operating through you. Let me prophesy. Your resistance to listening to the one that gives you her breast to nurture you and her life to make your life better, even if she made mistakes. When you feel something in you, and I'm going to use this word because this is exactly the energy that some of you operate in, that want to choke her out. It's a demonic, diabolical, no, satanic spirit operating in you. Because you make an allowance for everybody else's madness in a way that you don't do her. And you know why? Because she's a cosmic portal to the unseen realms. And she's brought on the planet to bless you. Let me tell you something. I'm saying something tonight, and I was not supposed to talk about none of this. The powers that shouldn't be, they help you create these spaces like the wicked manosphere. Because when you congregate and when you gather, you're creating a spiritual counter diabolical energy that's affecting other realms and dimensions. And when you brothers, the more you talk, the more you like, the more you support each other there, you are pulling energy that you can't see, and you're coming against your own woman, and you justify it. And then the powers that shouldn't be are able to use that energy. See, you don't understand spiritual stuff, so sit your ass down so I can teach you something, because your logical self ain't getting us nowhere. And who are you to talk to me when I'm the Ancient of Days? Voices that dog divine connections, voices that come against sacred love, they understand that frequency affects the galaxies, and it assists them in their diabolical agendas. So while you sit up here talking about some secret society, while you sitting up here talking about the deep state, while you sitting up here talking about skull and bones, while you sit up here talking about the Rothschilds, you don't even understand how they're alchemizing your diabolical energy. They know that if you divinely align with the original woman and get your egotistical, terrible, horrible self together, they know that has the power to overthrow them. But you participate in your own undoing. And the trick for you is that you all, some of you, think because you Black, you gonna make it. You ain't. Because the original people that first came up against your ancient mothers was unfortunately her own men. Your gifts are blessed 1,000-fold. Yes, many of our sisters are in a hell of a state. But look at the condition of the world, and look what's happened over centuries, over millennia. It's time to heal that. I just said a lot right there. This was not supposed to be the conversation. Vicki, get to where you're going. Listen. Certainly, over the past few days, of course, you all know I have not been online because I've been taking care of a whole lot of other stuff behind the scenes. I want to say this quickly. Certainly, you all have heard about Alex Pretti, 37-year-old citizen out of Minneapolis, that was murdered by the police. When I say police, of course, I'm talking about ICE. Everybody be sure to hit that thumbs up button, share, share, share. Yes? Who are we talking about? We're talking about this gentleman here. Yes? Y'all see him? Now, family, you all know that I could justify and righteously go in on the oppressive class. But that's not the point of what I want to do today, because I actually want to give you some insight and a way of thinking that I need us to make sure that we don't get lost in during this time. I posted something on X the other day, then I deleted it because I wanted to talk about it another time. But I see other people starting to pick up my sentiments that I deleted, so I reposted it, I think a day or two later. Yes? And I really used what I put on X, I deleted that too, but I put it on Instagram instead. By the way, family, you can follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Now, of course, the gentleman that you just saw there is a white man. Yes? Are y'all listening? Alex Pretti. Now, just a little bit of background. I'm reading from this PBS article. Of course, many of you know this already, but y'all know how I do. Let me give you a few facts, and then I'm going to connect some dots here. It says a second U.S. citizen was killed by federal forces in Minneapolis. Here's what we know. The fatal shooting of Alex Pretti, the second U.S. citizen to be killed by federal forces in Minnesota this month has intensified the public outrage over tactics used by immigration agents in the state and united unlikely bedfellows in calling for full investigation. Pretty's death Saturday at the hands of federal immigration officers also prompted state and local officials to renew their calls for an end to President Donald Trump's weeks-long federal operation in the state. Quote, how many more Americans need to die or get badly hurt for this operation to end? Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey said at a news conference hours after the shooting. How many more lives need to be lost before this administration realizes that a political and partisan narrative is not as important as American values? Y'all listen real good. Y'all listen? Everybody again, hit that thumbs up button, share. Tensions are rolling the Twin Cities weeks after a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent fatally shot Renee Good. Some of y'all have heard about her too. Don't y'all find that interesting, both of their ages? Renee Good, a 37-year-old U.S. citizen. Her January 7th shooting death touched off widespread protests in the city as immigration agents continued to fan out into neighborhoods to make their arrest. Saturday's shooting occurred in downtown Minneapolis, less than 2 miles from where Good was shot. Can you all see her picture in this article? Let me go pull it up real close. Can y'all see her picture there? I need y'all to listen. In its initial statement on the shooting, the Department of Homeland Security said an agent acting in self-defense fired his weapon after an armed struggle with the man who, quote, approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers tried to disarm the man, but he violently resisted, the statement added. As with Good's death, eyewitnesses and video evidence contradicted the Trump administration's narrative. According to bystander accounts and videos, Pretti was documenting the scene with the phone before agents tussled with him. He wasn't seen reaching for his licensed handgun. Of course, I've seen that footage. I do not want to play it here. Body camera footage of Pretty's killing from multiple angles is now being reviewed by investigators. DHS confirmed to PBS News. DHS confirmed that to PBS News. The agency did not answer questions about whether the footage or possible video recorded by Pretty's cell phone would be publicly released. Federal officials have so far shut local and state investigators out of the investigation, despite a court order instructing agencies not to destroy evidence and bipartisan congressional calls for a full joint investigation. Did you hear what I just said? There's much more I could say from that article, but I just want you to listen to that one part. What part did I want you to listen to? Listen again. What did I say? I said that a court order was issued instructing agencies not to destroy evidence. I'm going to talk to my Black family real quick. Black family, why do you think 5 minutes after this man's death, a court order was issued demanding that agencies not destroy evidence? I need my Black family to talk Black to me right now. Why would it be necessary and with great alacrity? Why would a court, a judicial body, an officer of the court issue an order demanding agencies not to destroy evidence? Somebody tell me why. Angie said cover up. What do Black folks know about cover up? What do Black people know about cover-ups? Somebody said lawfare. Absolutely. Somebody else said because they destroy evidence. What do Black folks, what do we know about cover-ups, Black family? Because it's their norm. It's their norm for who? It's their norm for who? My brother Warren said it's what they do. So watch this. A court immediately issues an order to agencies. Y'all, that's government agencies that they issue that order to. Y'all know that, right? Look at me. White people know their diabolical get down. They know the normal protocol for such instances. But they play dumb, like they don't understand exactly how it affects us. Yes, listen. So white people know what white people do. I said white people know what white people do. Is that right? They know they cover up. Keep that in mind, yes? But that's not the only sentence I read from that paragraph. What else did I say? I said that a court order instructing agencies not to destroy evidence. And what else did I say behind that? I said, and bipartisan congressional calls. What kind of congressional, what kind of calls? What kind of congressional calls did I say right there? It's family. Where my black family at? I said, what kind of congressional calls did I say? I said bipartisan. What does bipartisan mean? Typically, it refers to who? Both Republican and Democrat called for an investigation. 5 minutes after this man is dead, by his own. Is that right, y'all? How many times, black family, have you heard of both Republican and Democrats immediately calling for investigation, and immediately after a black murder, a judge issues an order demanding other governmental agencies not to destroy evidence? Y'all know I'm going somewhere, right? Listen. There's obvious things that we know is going on here, but that's not the point. I'm going to bring up a whole bunch of different things because it's late. Listen. I told you I posted something on Instagram the other day, yes? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I posted something the other day on Instagram, yes? Where is it? Here it is. Look what I posted the other day. I'm going to read it to you. Tell me if you all can see this. This is what I posted. I put it on X and then I deleted it because I was really using it as a post. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? I posted, I warned you long ago that America would implode due to mistreatment of Black Americans. I'm going to say that again. I said, I warned you long ago. Vicki Dillard, that is, because I'm one of the few commentators from the beginning that always lace politics with spirituality. Yes? You are so right. Much love, sis, all the way from Eritrea. Y'all shout out my Eritrean family. Baby, we FBAs don't have no problem shouting out our international family over here. Eritrea, my Eritrean family, the beautiful revolutionary African country. I've done commentary there. Do y'all know how much love I get from Eritreans? Do y'all know how much love I get from Eritreans? Listen, back to my post. Y'all listening? I warned you long ago that America would implode due to mistreatment of Black Americans. Yes? Instagram be showing numbers wrong, but it's about 10. You can see there's about 10,000 or so on that views. The second one I posted, same day next to it, I said, ICE is just the police. The same police Black Americans warned you about, asked you to defund and put in check. Both Democrats and Republicans insisted they be funded and kept intact. Now that the oppressor turned against themselves, y'all shook. Who just said that? Rabbit said, you definitely did. Somebody else just said, you're the truth. Y'all listen. I warned you, I said, a long time ago, that America would implode. Why did Vicki use the word implode years and years ago repeatedly concerning a number of different injustices that we have faced here in America, Black Americans face? and the prophecy, the prophetic word that America specifically, of course, I use many other details, but I want to focus on that word. Why would I use the word implode versus explode? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me, why would Vicki use the word implode many, many times over years and years and years to describe how white America will go down? Lisa, you are truly a great teacher. We all need Queen. I love you, Miss Lisa. Who just said that? Because it's internal. Somebody else just said internal breakdown. Somebody said it's happening from the inside. Somebody said it's happening from within. That's exactly right. Look at me. 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 I promise you I brush my teeth. Look at me, y'all. Whenever you hear a Vicki voice, quote unquote, out in the wilderness, demanding justice for Black American, while your Boulay and your Joy Reads and all them, they was happy to have their little cable jobs and give us the middle finger, right? While Essence Magazine is blocking Vicki Dillard. Am I right? While some of your other Black publications are disrespecting me and blocking me. When you've got former White House officials disrespecting me publicly. When you got your favorite Black activists giving me the middle finger. Talk black to me, somebody. When you've got athletes saying that my hair should have Gatorade. He said that because of a broadcast that I did where he was dogging a Black woman, but he was defending a white woman. Y'all know who I'm talking about. When some of you religious people, you will support a disgusting, wicked politician and stand by them. Some of you religious folks will stand by a rapper and an artist that's destroying Black America. But you will make sure you keep your distance from Vicki Dillard. Oh, I've heard from insiders from the industry that would tell me, Vicki, I rock with you publicly, sis, but there's a lot of us that watch you, and many of them will not like on your stuff because they said they're scared to like on your stuff because if people see that they're connected to you, it's going to mess with them. Let me tell you something. What the hell have you overcome if your level up is based on you disrespecting and distancing yourself from the modern revolutionaries? Somebody just said prophets are without honor. That's true, beloved. Somebody said Essence is not a Black magazine. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Somebody said Philadelphia, you got your back. I always get love from Philadelphia. Let me tell you something. I can't wait to get to Philadelphia. We're still planning 2 major trips locally here for the Vicki Dillard tour. So y'all stay tuned for that. My team and I are working on that after we finish one more behind the scenes project. And y'all know I'm taking care of my health at the same time. So you all see that I'm manifesting. So listen to me. I'm going somewhere. Why did I post this? Why did I bring up what I said? Before any of these things happen, you all have always heard me talk about that we're at war. Yes? And I've always taught you that if we're at war, then we need to act like it. So while your other Black so-called successful people are trying to curry favor from the Biden administration, hell, and for Trump, for all I know, they mock me for speaking on your behalf, but they still so bothered by me. Now that they see the turn of events in the world, now everybody is going back to voices like mine. Oh, that's what she was talking about. Because you thought you was something, didn't you? You thought you made it. Why did I bring up some of this? Some of the injustice that's taking place now and the sick, twisted violence that we see amongst the oppressive class turning on themselves, the purpose of me telling you all that we're more powerful than we know. When some of you all will say, what good is that going to make you talking about that, Vicki? What good is that going to do you having that webinar? What good is that going to do you going to confront Robert F. Kennedy? What good is that going to do you going to Washington, D.C. for a reparations rally and demand from the United States, reparations for Black Americans, and war in America there too. One of the things I told you all is that all you need to do is get in the right frequency for justice. And I told you that our unseen government, our unseen court will handle the rest. Some of you would say things to me like, we don't have the weapons they have. Some of you would say, we don't have the power that we have. So what are you all over there talking about? What you don't understand is when you get on the right trajectory, the right divine road, unseen soldiers, unseen warriors, unseen assistance comes to your aid. And a part of the unseen assistance, my beloved family, is when those that are the most powerful turn the weapons on themselves. When you don't understand how spirit works, you will talk from a lack mindset and you will talk from a state of weakness. And you will try to infect others with your sick ass weakness. I don't play about misinformation, and I don't play when you tamper with spirit. Because see, you got to understand there are certain things that you can do spiritually that's on a spiritual level of capital punishment. I said something right there. Did you hear what I said? I just said something right there. I said something right there. Some of you think you can get away with certain things because they're subtle. Some of you don't understand power in its ethereal form and in its most potent form. So you take it for granted. And you don't have the necessary discernment and foresight to know what you ought to be backing and what you ought to be risking it all for, what you ought to be betting on. Let me tell you something real good, Black America. Let me tell you something good, Black FBA family, and those of my family that's watching me from around the world. Look at me real good, and don't you dare ever get me twisted with just a regular talking head. So yes, I lace my content with spirituality. Let me tell you something real good. Who just said that y'all need to join the mystery school? It would take you to another level. Yes, beloved. The link is above. You can join the Vicki Dillard Mystery School. It's a very low cost. Every month you get a live lecture and a bunch of other benefits. They're telling you this for good reason. Let me tell you something. Some of you keep putting your trust in voices that are falling right before your face, but you still keep giving them credit. Some of you don't fight and support like you ought, which weakens you. Do you understand that? I said it weakens you when you don't properly support like you ought. I'm off to something else. Let me move on. When I was talking a minute ago about when you're listening to voices like mine, even when it seems like we don't have the resources like everybody else. Y'all remember I just said that a few minutes ago? And then people scoff at what good is so-and-so doing? And who do you think you are? And all the people you put your trust in, like the Joy Reids, they still fired her with all that shucking and jiving and mammying she did. As much as you quote the Don Lemons, they still fired him. Simone Sanders helped Joe Biden win the White House. They still didn't let her become press secretary. Tiffany Cross used her platform on MSNBC to tell the world not to listen to us. And guess what? 5 minutes later, she fired. Even though you keep seeing these recurring proofs that the voices and the shields that you're listening to are coming to nothing, you still got the nerve to turn up your nose at somebody like Vicki Dillard. And then if I say something where I rock with you 99% of the time on everything else, but I say, let's just change up the strategy here, you all think you're going to teach me a lesson. And I've been about this FBA life before we even start calling ourselves FBA. Like little children. It's important because look what's happening. The ancestors move on our behalf when there's a certain vibration that's activated. The stuff that I talk about and the energy I move in, y'all ain't gonna believe what I'm listening to right now in my ear. I'm hearing Beyonce's song by getting information. Yeah, I'm too deep for political stuff, ain't I? When you move in a certain spiritual energy and frequency, you are activating the unseen government to act in ways and on your behalf that you cannot. They began to get information. And they don't just get information. Y'all ready for this? They start to give us information. Hunches, nudges, insights, bits of inspiration, ideas. When we make certain demands and we stick with it, it gives them the ability in the spirit to act in very real and important ways. Look at me. But when you put undue faith, power, and energy into a failing system like the United States of America, when you scoff at voices like mine, you weaken them, thus weakening yourself. Somebody just said, I can feel the vibes. Y'all listen to what I said. FBA, we must not stop demanding reparations and tangibles. And we must not, as we call out those that disrespect us, we must never lose sight of the goal. Everything that's happening, let me get back to where I'm going, with this Alex Pretti, yes, and Renee Good. The whole world is shook, just like I said in my post, because the oppressors have turned on themselves. The reason I use the word implode instead of explode is because when you move in a spiritual frequency, you don't have to have just natural weapons. When you have spiritual weapons, it has an overruling power that you must not despise. And let me tell you something, FBA. Let me warn you real quick. Don't you think it's just because our open enemies are making mishaps that this is happening. Don't make that mistake to think that's just it. Because when you say that, you make them appear to be omniscient or omnipotent, all-powerful, all-knowing, omnipresent, meaning everywhere. Baby, they ain't that. You trying to act like that they're the ultimate creator. They're not. It shows a lack of faith in the Ancient of Days and the energy of those of us that preceded their existence. You got to be out of your mind if you don't think that when I, along with so many others, thousands of you, showed up in Washington, D.C. a year and a half ago to demand reparations, if you don't think we shifted something in the spirit, you got to be out of your mind. Some of you didn't support me like you should when y'all saw that I confronted Robert F. Kennedy about reparations. I'm trying to see how among FBA, the grassroots, how in the hell that y'all got a real one that confronted him while he was a presidential candidate? And y'all just damn near yarned at it. The hell? Vicki sat down face to face with a presidential candidate? And before I talked to him, he was trying to show deference for Jewish people. And I shook him because I greeted him. And 5 seconds into my conversation, I said, yes, I would like to talk about the Holocaust. I said, the Black Holocaust. And that pale face turned red. And when I was done with him, do you know it was a special handpicked group of people that was supposed to be talking to him? It wasn't that many of us in the first place because we were handpicked at the meeting I was invited to. Do you know that when I was done, he refused to take any questions or comments from anybody else? And some of you all just said that you saw it. In the footage, you see where his campaign manager started freaking out and some of the other staff members to shut me down. It was mostly the white lady. Well, how many of you all know later we found out some of the suspect and nefarious connections that Robert F. Kennedy had to the Jewish community? I shook his behind. Do you all think that I was just talking? Why do you all think? What energy was I operating in that would cause a presidential candidate to run? Somebody else just said, you sure did. No, the purpose of me bringing this up to you is you better recognize who you're listening to and to properly support it. No network should have failed to hear that one of your own repped you face to face. I should not cease to hear it because I didn't do that just for me. My brother Cool Keezy said, confronted the devil to his face and sent his ass running. And we got the footage. No cap, never need to. Look at me. When you elevate and honor like you ought our voices, do you know you make us more powerful and you give what I say greater weight because you back it? This is the weight of word. We different type of soldiers. My job as a soldier in this war ain't your job, and vice versa. Get in where you fit in and don't hate, and don't you dare allow others among us not to. You see what it is? You have to have the courage, the insight, and the foresight to know what to do with what you hear. Somebody say shout out to the sacred demons in the chat. This one that just said evil witch all day, baby. All day. All day. That's the kind of response I get from real enemies. But it's cool. Listen to me. It's important that we understand what time we're in. And it's important for you to understand. And the reason I'm bringing this up about the reparation speech that I had the privilege of giving with our brother Tariq Nasheed, and so many of you, thousands of you, packed that plaza when I was there speaking. And that was such an honor to meet some of you in DC. But when I confronted Robert F. Kennedy, it was in Colorado. I want you all to understand that the things that we're saying and doing is what's causing certain things to occur today. And it is directly connected. And don't you dismiss it. And don't be spiritually stupid not to be able to connect those dots. In the wake, listen, y'all know I'm going somewhere with this. In the wake, Ebony, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. The Spirit is truly moving through you right now, sis. You are me and I am you. Friday, I will officially be in your class to learn. Oh, Ashe. Ashe, Ebony. I can't wait. Ashe. So precious, your very kind words. Listen. Do not think for 1 second what's happening with the changing of the gods and goddesses, what's happening with the changing of the powers in the world is not directly connected to us and our energy. This is what I'm trying to get you all to understand. The moves we've been making, the things that we've been saying and doing, the energy in which we've been moving in, is what's causing some of these things to come to be. Y'all understand what I'm trying to say? Y'all see my moderators' warnings, baby. The moderators is ready to have a block party, baby. Y'all see what Sister Lisa said? She said, let another troll come up in here. Y'all see what the sister said. Keep playing. Y'all listen. Listen. Y'all, I make enemies with some of y'all favorite philosophers, doctors. Some of your favorite people can't stand Vicki Dillard, baby. I promise you it's got everything to do with my spiritual frequency. But I always protect it. Listen. Somebody said moving as a collective. That's exactly right. Moving as a collective. And being intelligent enough to know how we ought to move together. Don't major on minors and minor on majors, family. Don't get in your little corners. Vicki disagreed on this one little simple energy, but she down for everything that matters. But we only gonna go listen to this one person over here that says every single thing that I want. And like a little child, I'm only gonna listen to them. And do Vicki like this. Because if I listen to her, she gonna bust my little bubble of madness. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. I said this before and I'm gonna say it again. In war, you counsel with a council. In war, you counsel, S-E-L, ending the word counsel, with a council, C-O-U-N-C-I-L. Because every strategist can't see everything. And if you really want to win, those that you know are sound voices, you will listen to all of those opinions and then make a decision to move. Not just dismiss one that got your back, fool. That's been having your back. And it makes you vulnerable to other things down the road. Let me tell you something. Just because masses go one way don't mean the masses know what the hell they're doing and where they're going. Some of the greatest battles have been won based off intuition. Not just what the battlefield looked like that day. Oh, I can't see the enemy, so let's just go out in the front. No, what? You are the queen, Vicki. You always know what you're talking about. And I love my people. That's what's so crazy about how y'all be doing me. Y'all be thinking I don't be seeing your little comments and your little attitudes, your little weird ways. Do you think that my journey has been what it is because I'm fixing you? You gonna throw me for a loop and throw me off with your whining and boycotting me, my own people? You think my journey is going? You think I'm gonna be up at night because you tripping, ninja? I had a supernatural experience as a girl in Mississippi when they told me what my destiny was going to have to do with. You think I'm going to be thrown by you, weirdo? Because you don't get it? You in a chat somewhere? Damn it. You don't go sit your... You can get to where you're going. Watch this. Listen. Why did I call today's thing about the curse of Ham? Because I was going to do a part 2 on that guy that said he was a panther, that fake panther. Remember I told you I want to do a part 2? I told you that a couple of days ago because, child, look, since then, they didn't talk about the guy after Huey Newton's niece came out, because, you know, one of y'all tagged me some days ago about that. So y'all knew I was going to do a broadcast on that, but I see other people have been talking about it already. I had already planned on doing it, but I'm not on here like that. I got to do my health and some other behind the scenes stuff. Look, y'all. My understanding is that, like, why the Black Panther dude that folks were saying was suspect, how they gonna change the name of the Black Panther thing to the lions? Something about lions. It's something about a lion in it. That's another. I'll do that later. Remember I told you I'm gonna do a part 2 because that was a part of my topic the other 4 or 5 days ago, and I told you I'm coming back to do part 2 so I can finish that broadcast. Child, why that suspect panther? Why did I see a report saying that they done changed the name? I'm gonna give you the details on what I saw. We'll see what else comes out. But I know they didn't change from panther to no lion. Baby. Vicki, leave it alone. Get to where you're going. Listen, y'all. We'll get back to that later. I got to verify some stuff on that. Stay tuned. That's another thing, y'all. I was just telling you, I'm going to get back to that. But since this stuff has been really hitting the news, I wanted to talk to you about this because this happened a few days ago, right? Listen, y'all. Listen with this Alex Pretti. Listen. Why did I talk about the curse of Ham? I want you all to consider several things as it relates to police violence, state violence. Are y'all listening to me, Black family? Somebody said, I always love Vicki Dillard. I love you back. I love all y'all back. Listen, why did I talk about the curse of Ham? Y'all don't want to know why? Because everything we're seeing right now has there's a spiritual underbelly to it. There's a certain mindset that's infected and infiltrates our society, which is why some of the stuff that we're seeing happening today is playing out the way that it's playing out. Y'all ready for this? First of all, before I say this next part, don't forget what I said. White people are experiencing this because our ancestors are involved in it. The unseen spiritual court and armies involved in this. Because did you think that you were going to continue to get away with murdering Black folks and doing nothing about it? But now all of a sudden that white folks can turn on themselves, imploded, like I told you they would. And this is just one of many ways in which they do that. Yes? They're turning on themselves. That's the reason why Black family, when we move a certain way, we can't worry about what we have and what we don't have. We just got to move in the right direction. And look how the divine is allowing their weapons to be used against them. Don't you forget, Black family, when we demanded, how many of y'all know ICE ain't nothing but the police? Don't let them get all us mixed up in that ICE mess. When I say ICE mess, as if they talking about just immigration. No, they keep using the word ICE to differentiate between them and police. No, they the police. How many of y'all know, Black family, when we kept begging them and saying Black Lives Matter, white folks said, no, all lives matter. When we said defund the police, what did both Republican and Democrats say? No, we're going to fund the police. And we're going to keep them intact. How many of y'all know that? How many of you all know that every time we showed them footage of one of our Black families that didn't have a gun, they said that they had a gun? How many of y'all know that every time they blew off the head of one of our loved ones, they told us that they should have complied? Every time we showed them footage of one of our Black family on their knees begging, please don't shoot, and they shot them anyway, they still justified their murder. How many of y'all know that? How many of y'all know that even Obama, when he was in office, what did Obama call Black protesters that was speaking out against injustices. What did Obama, under the Obama administration, it starts with a T. It starts with a T. What did Obama and his administration double down and call Black protesters? I said it starts with a T. Thank you, Timothy. Thugs. Black Obama. And didn't Obama turn around and start telling Black families about taking responsibility for raising their kids? Didn't he do that to deflect? Because how many of y'all know when Obama got in office, murders started to go up for Black folks? Why? Because white folks was retaliating that a Black man was in office. But they knew they couldn't get to Obama, so what did they do? They started taking it out on us. Didn't they, family? And Obama, instead of reaming white folks, what did he do? He invited white police to the White House to have beers. Literally. Tell me I'm lying in the chat. Did y'all forget? I said, did y'all forget? Somebody just said the beer summit. That's right. Please, I'm telling you all, because if you just listen to me, some of you all may not be familiar with this. Obama had the white supremacists at the White House. After white folks started telling Obama, don't you talk to white folks like that? Obama said, okay, let me bring them to the White House for a beer. Had a beer summit. And didn't Obama pass legislation that strengthened police tactics against us? Tell the truth, shame the devil, Black family. I saw one of the Black family, they posted something the other day. I think it was on X or something, but anyway, don't quote me on it. But we know this to be true because we saw the footage, because this was from years ago. But somebody posted this and reminded me of something that, what's that coon's name out of South Carolina? What's the coon name? The long-serving coon with that civil rights back of the bus shaking his voice. What is the coon's name? Not Jesse Lee. Yeah, he a big, fat, juicy coon. Clyburn. Thank you, baby. Clyburn, he a congressman. I said long-serving family. Thank you. How many of y'all know James Clyburn and the rest of them said that by us demanding defund the police, it said that it was messing up the Democrats' chance of getting reelected. Y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember Clyburn and other Democrats blamed us for demanding that police be defunded? Somebody said sloganism. Thank you. Isn't that what he said, baby? Isn't that what he said? Who said sloganism? That's right, beloved. Look, why is it that the Democrats and white Republicans are calling for full investigations and directly or indirectly calling for ICE funding to be stopped? A lot of them. And why is white America sitting out there acting like this is an emergency? Let me tell y'all something. Look at me real good, Black fam. I'm going to say something, and I know this may sound controversial, but I want you to hear me real good. Y'all know I don't need to disrespect nobody right now, but look at me. Look at me. You know what my concern is right now? Don't you dare. We don't have to disrespect nobody. Are y'all listening? I'm talking like a mama. We don't need to disrespect nobody because we want to make traction with our narrative. Look at me. A whole lot of Black folks don't need to be out there making the case for Mr. Alex Pretti, except to say and expose that this is the nature of white folks in these positions. This is their history, I should say. To the degree we bring this up, it's just to show white people this is white police. This is to show them this what y'all be doing all the time. Y'all see y'all? You see how your behavior is so crazy. And there can be an argument to be made that a lot of times when white folks kill white folks, it's always got something to do with somebody that's got some melanin or some issue that white folks feel threatened by, like immigration, that's going to destroy their worlds. Tell the truth. A lot of times when white folks come against other white folks, it's got to do with other white folks mad that the white folks that they take out, they're not on code with full-blown white supremacy. Most of the times, they will take out one of their own in situations like that. Somebody just said, always love. In many cases, when you see white folks get crazy and turn on each other, it's because they're retaliating against one of their own for not being 100%, 1,000% on code with white supremacy. If they see you out there fighting for any other issue other than 100% white supremacy, they are willing to sacrifice you. Did y'all hear what I said right there? Let's just keep it above. Let's just keep it above. Somebody said, can we say barbarism? That too. All uncivilized. If they see you out there defending somebody black, defending somebody melanated, or any issue that's got anything to do with anything that's close to darkness, if it looked like the sun is going down on their behinds, baby, they will take you out too as punishment for being over there with them. Tell the truth. But that's not the controversial thing that I was going to say. Look at me, family. I've been seeing certain black prominent people flood their timelines with all these pictures in defense of Alex Pretti. When you're strategic about how you're bringing these issues up, like in the way we're talking about it, it makes sense to me. But when I see you're defending him and you're advocating for him, we don't need to overdo this. Let white people defend white people. That's one thing. Guess what the second thing is? And I'm talking to you, black family, on this. Without being disrespectful, what did I say? Without us being crazy. Look at me. We better not let them make Alex Pretti and that Miss, what's her name, Goodman? I'm looking for her name again. Renee Good. We better not let them make them the face of police brutality. Not that we want to be it. Y'all know what I mean when I say that. We better not let white folks start to say, it's us too. No, it ain't you too. No. We got to be real careful. Because just like white folks back in the day paid $5 to become $5 Indians to steal resources that belong to us. Just like white folks makes mischief with, for example, DEI programs, civil rights program, to where they mess up everything that was meant for us, and they turn around and say, hey, if you are LGBTQ community, if you're a white woman, you get in on this too. Ain't no disrespect to LGBT folks and all this other kind of stuff too. But we know y'all make mischief with other groups and subgroups so that you can take that which belongs to us. White women are the #1 beneficiary of these DEI programs. We're not going to let that happen on our watch. White folks can be real sneaky. And all of a sudden, they're going to start putting this man's face out and then drowning out all of our people that have suffered this. This is what I'm concerned about. They're going to try to flip this in some little sadistic, twisted way, like they the victims of themselves. Let me tell y'all something. Why did Vicki talk about the curse of Ham? Look at me. Whenever you talk about anti-Semitism, when you call out white people's racism that's Jewish, they'll turn around and say anti-Semitism and make themselves another class so you don't call them white people. How many of y'all know that's the reason why for a minute Whoopi Goldberg was suspended a couple of years ago on The View? Because when she had a guest on there, and by the way, Whoopi Goldberg says she's Jewish, by the way. But how many of y'all know they suspended her for a couple of weeks on The View because she was on there with the guest and she told the guest that the stuff that Hitler was doing was not, he wasn't taking them out because they was because of their race. And the guest on the show kept trying to make Judaism by race. They trying to blur the line. I'm warning y'all now, we better not let that happen. Somebody just said, I love your thinking, sis. White people are going to get ready to start throwing that good lady's name up there and acting like we victims. They're going to make a whole special class for their ass. That's rhyming. That was a rap class for their ass. And they're going to drown out our realities and come out crying like it's me. Meaning themselves. That they the victims now. No, we're not going to let that happen, family. No, we're not going to do that. Every time they bring up the Pretti guy, we need to be ready for another one of our own black martyrs names out there. Video footage and all that over and over again. Every time they say something about him, we say condolences, but y'all doing this because y'all didn't respect us first. Let me tell y'all something. This white man, I was watching a video of this white man. He gonna say about how black folks, yeah, he was talking about us specifically, black Americans. He said that this is not the time for us basically to be divisive. He said, especially at a time like this. The white man said that. I see y'all putting our names in the chat. Somebody just said Philando Castile. Somebody just said Keith Porter. Somebody said Tamir Rice. Somebody said Sandra Bland. Put their names in the chat. Look at me, y'all. Look at me. Look at me. This white man said to Black America, this clip I was watching, he said about this is not the time for us, black people, to be divisive. He said, especially at a time like this. The hell you mean? What you mean at a time like this? What white folks mean at a time like this wasn't supposed to happen to white people. Just like when unions came into existence, y'all know, unions came into existence, labor unions, came into existence after slavery because the only skilled workers were black folks. Y'all know that, right? So when white people could no longer enslave us in traditional ways, they wanted to get they knew that the only truly skilled laborers were black folks. So they came with their own DEI with the labor unions. Y'all know that's how labor unions came into existence. To help white folks get jobs. Why? Because white folks never expected to work. Did you hear what I said right there? It was a devastation for white people to actually have to work. That was not supposed to be the plan. I see y'all saying our names. Elisha McClain. Somebody said Winston Smith. Somebody say Dante Wright. Somebody say Sean Bell. Don't put no Kyle Rittenhouse ass name in here. He a white supremacist. Eric Garner. Eric Garner. Ahmaud Arbery. Darren Sims. Michael Brown. Y'all, those names are names that you have very likely heard Vicki Dillard talk about over the years. You ain't heard all these folks that's out here talking about this white man, talking about those names. They scoffed at what we said then. Look at me. Don't you let white folks create an invisible. Now, white folks, the conscious, so-called conscious white folks now, all the ones y'all like to listen to, that's pro-Trump, all that. Now that they done came out against the vaccine, who's the first ones to come out against the vaccines? They demonetized me when I was on Fly Nubian Queen and other places. I was being censored before COVID. Y'all know that, right? They were censoring and taking down my videos for telling the truth on black issues, like the very names y'all putting in here. When Vicki would go hard in on those injustices, they were censoring me then in these platforms. Now that 2 or 3 of your favorite white people done got censored, y'all support them like they the truth and the light and the way and the Messiah and the glory and worthy of honor and praise. Candace Owens created the atmosphere for the devastation of black folks. And now she half y'all hero. Let me ask you something. Is Candace Owens going to renounce her documentary that she did on George Floyd saying that he deserved his own death? Is Candace Owens going to denounce all the white people that still love her? But now that they're talking about some elusive Israel, some elusive Zionism, that's only white people that's religious as a cover. They still white people, racist ass white people that y'all keep calling by another name to cloak them. Candace is talking about Israel now, but Candace is not demanding that Israel and the Israelis, y'all listening, that said in a video about 4 or 5 years ago that the number one enemy to Israel were Black American youth. Have you all heard her denounce Israel for that and demand an investigation? Is she going crazy into the former Israeli consulate, high-level government leader that said that, like she going in for this white boy named Charlie Kirk? White people don't need our help. Asking for investigations into their lives. Why is Black Candace Owens demanding investigations and truth to come out for Charlie Kirk more than Charlie Kirk's Lily White WKKKKKKK wife? Erica Kirk is demanding. Somebody just said Vicki was broadcasting 2 hours every day. You better tell them I was doing it 5 days a week live. And I was giving content not too long ago after I started with Fly Nubian Queen on African Diaspora News Channel with a serious medical condition. How many of y'all know? Some of y'all saw me broadcast a couple of times on the bus. Some of you all saw me broadcast walking. Some of you saw me broadcast literally from my hospital bed one time or two. Tell the truth. Why you allowed other Black looking people to slander me and do back-to-back nonstop broadcasts on me? When I say you, I'm talking about some of you. Y'all know my riders who always had my back. Tell the truth. Somebody just said, I remember. Listen, I don't do all that anymore for obvious reasons, because I'm no longer connected to Fly Nubian Queen and some of the affiliate networks, because I was highly mistreated. And I had to make sure that I take very good care of my health. So I'm starting over from scratch. Sometimes when people retaliate, they try to take your platforms and they try to take your access, email list, and even my names of some of my previous students. That's real talk right there. Watch this. So a lot of my work now, you can't even find it now because it's no longer even visible on some of those platforms. But nobody can stop my impact. And I'm a trailblazer. Somebody just said trailblazer. You are a trailblazer. That's right. In this, I was talking about politics from a vantage point that the average person was not, especially as a female. Wasn't nobody doing it like that at the time. And that's fine. I'm a fair person. But whenever you start to defend yourself, people get upset. I wouldn't have to defend myself if you did. I wouldn't have to remind folks and take folks down memory lane if you did. I love my sister Lisa Parker in the chat. Everybody hit that thumbs up button, please, and share, share, share. By the way, family, make sure, how many of you all got your New Year's calendar? Do I have it here? How many of y'all got y'all New Year's calendar? 12 months. Y'all get y'all calendar. The link is above my website link. Just go to my website and scroll down. You will see where you can purchase this. This is one of the ways that you can support me and you can support yourself every single day. Looking at, how many of y'all know that the ancients always saw beauty as sacred? I have a beautiful picture. Y'all, look, some pictures in here I ain't never showed to the public. I'm just going to leave it at that. Again, this is for both men and women. And if you've got one, make sure you buy several for other people. It's good for all occasions. It's still the beginning of the year, so get yours today. My brother Warren said, I got mine. Yes. Who else said that? Lisa Parker with a beautiful heart. Somebody said, looking good. Thank you, precious. So who said woo-hoo? I love y'all so much. Cool Keisha said, I never allowed disrespect. Brother Cool Keisha always had my back. I love my brother. I love my brother. So, baby, get yours today. Again, the link is above. Go to VickiPlanet.com. As soon as you go to my website, just scroll down. You will see the link to where you buy your 2026 calendar. This is one of the ways that you help to support your sister. How many of you all know it's a cost to telling the truth? How many of you all know that because I'm not on the mainstream groups and all this other kind of stuff, I don't sell out, so nobody has to pay my checks when my people support me. And then I'm giving you something in exchange. Yes? Are y'all listening? Of course, I still got a few of my fall magazines there. We're really selling those. We only got a few left of those, to be honest. But I'm really selling the rest of those. Why? Because I'm getting ready to start my new Venus magazine for my women. And guess what I got coming up soon for my masculines? I'm getting ready to do. We're just going to do just a small handful for my masculines because I want to see if there's real interest for it. But in addition to me doing my Venus magazine for my ladies, my upcoming Venus, because I give you the goddess secrets about manifesting for my goddesses. It's so yummy. And ladies, wait till you see the cover for the Venus because it's going to be out February. So ladies, get your little money together for that. You're going to hear about that soon for my Venus magazine. That's luxury for the everyday woman. I don't believe luxury is supposed to be just for no millionaires and billionaires. I believe it's something that we're supposed to experience. So I discuss those sacred goddess secrets in my Venus magazine, but I got one coming out for just men. We're going to do a trial on it. Guess what the magazine is going to be called for my brothers? It's about the elite Hannibal. Y'all ain't ready. Baby. 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 Did you hear what I said? Listen. Okay, Vicki, get to the curse of Ham. Y'all ready for this? Why did I talk about the curse of Ham and this man? First of all, before I go there, I'm going to quote from a book. Y'all know how I get down, but I'm going to hurry up because this is so late. Y'all, this is crazy that we up this late. If y'all on the East Coast, y'all, it's midnight. This is crazy. How many of y'all know I love y'all so much? I don't love y'all. I say I love y'all. How you spell love? I love y'all. Yeah, this crazy that we up this late. Look, y'all. Look, thank you, precious. I love y'all. Can I say something to you? Ever since this white man got killed by his own, somebody say by his own, we're not going to let white people create little special categories for them to hide out at. No, all these white people. We talk about racists, Zionists, they white people. When we talk about ICE, it's still white police. That's white people. You talking like to be somebody. Hell, that's right, the Mormon church. I done did videos on the Mormons too. Somebody said, love y'all, LOAVE, yes, baby, love y'all. Somebody said, Vicki, stay dropping them gems. You know how we do, baby. How many of y'all saw this? Let me turn it where you can see the headline. How many of y'all saw this headline recently? How many of y'all saw this headline? Y'all see this? What does it say, y'all? What does it say, y'all? The NBA postpones game because the USA seems to have declared war on Minnesota. Politics are intruding again on sports as if this is where we're all supposed to shut up and watch them dribble. Well, wouldn't that be nice? But an NBA game Saturday in Minneapolis was postponed because the United States of America seems to have declared war on Minnesota. How many of y'all saw that? How many of y'all see where the NBA, with the quickness, I was watching, I think it was a coach, talk about why they did that. I'm skipping now to ESPN's where, now this is ESPN's, I skipped to their article now. Y'all see? What did it say? Warriors and Timberwolves postponed the Minneapolis unrest. The NBA has postponed Saturday's game between Minnesota Timberwolves and Golden State Warriors in Minneapolis amid growing unrest after Saturday morning confrontation with federal immigration officers ended in a man being shot and killed. What they not saying is with a white man. Because you didn't have the Kaepernicks bowing knees and stuff. It wasn't controversial. Remember, whenever a black brother did something like that, remember they said they was going to take money out of his check. Remember, whenever black folks said they was going to take a knee, they was going to sit out. If they wrote anything, if they wore a band that says Black Lives Matter, if they wore anything with a fist on it, if they did anything that had anything to do with justice and using their platforms and their positions for anything. How many of y'all know white folks lost their mind and went crazy, stupid crazy? Government officials went stupid crazy. Congress people went stupid crazy. And they lily white racist fans went stupid crazy. How many of y'all know that? How many of y'all know that they white coaches told them that you better not do that? Some of them. How many of y'all know that some of the white owners told a lot of them that you better not do that? And to the degree one or two of them did what's right, how many of y'all know they didn't do it as right and as fast as the NBA just did when white people see other white people dying? Y'all see that? Someone said that Trump called them SOBs. Yes, he did call them that, baby. He sure did. Didn't he call the black folks that? Y'all listen. What did it say? In a statement, the NBA said that the game was postponed. Y'all want to hear what the NBA said? Quote, to prioritize the safety and security of Minneapolis community. Watch this. I'm trying to see if this is the quote that from the other. I'm looking for the other one. Hold on, yeah. Minneapolis police. Okay, blah blah blah. That's not the one. Let me see. Thousands march. I'm skipping to the part where I'm looking for. Hold on. The shooting took place in 2020. The NBA played blah 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 blah. That's not that. Our thoughts and support are with everyone affected, and we send our deepest sympathies to those who have lost a loved one. The public address announcer said of the speaker system, This is not what I'm looking for. Okay. Oh no, it's skipping down. Okay, Missy Devils, my blah 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 blah. Number one pick for draft. Okay, that's not the one. Listen. So anyway, it was a clip that I actually saw as well. I thought that said that last little part, but instead it just cut the end off. It referred to what I'm talking about, but it's not the full context of what I'm trying to say. The long and short of it is, I think it was a coach. Y'all know I don't do sports that good, so I forgot the man's name, but I was actually watching him talk about this in the actual press release, and he did not talk about just, oh, it's because it's unrest. No, he was real specific about the fact of justice and injustice. And I thought to myself, dang, look how fast white folks are getting all these other white folks to have their back and to take strong action. But whenever we had to beg and plead for owners, for leagues to actually do something, and then we had to go out here and fight for other Black athletes that was actually taking a stand to keep their jobs and not be fined. And then when they did do one or two little simple little things, all of white America jumped against them. I mean, the hot dog stand people was calling the Black athletes the N-word. Little raggedy beer belly trailer Yankees was out there calling Black athletes who helped give them jobs. You little beer belly hot dog slinging vendor Yankees wouldn't even have nothing to sling if it wasn't the Black athletes. They had something to say. Owners had something to say. Coaches had something to say. Hell, coons like Stephen A. Smith would turn against his own. How many of y'all know Stephen A. Smith? Y'all know I don't do sports like that. So if you know I know something about Stephen A. Smith, you know I know he a coon. Ask yourself how that's happening. But that ain't all. I'm going somewhere with this ham. Y'all hang out with me and I'm almost done, okay? Before I get to this curse of ham, I want to connect some dots that you may not have thought about. Look, how many of y'all remember this? How many of y'all heard about this? Let me turn it so you can see the headlines. Who we talking about? Who y'all think we talking about right now? Y'all see these headlines? What does headline say? This is from USA Today. What does headline say, family? What does headline say, family? What gun rights group do you think that this article is about to refer to? Y'all know I be having these tabs ready to go, baby. What does it say? Who could Vicki be possibly talking about? Y'all listening? Several prominent Second Amendment rights groups have blasted federal officials for suggesting it's dangerous and possibly an indication of malintent for lawful gun owners to protest while in possession of their legally obtained firearms. Y'all listen. The controversy came after a Border Patrol agent on January 24th shot and killed Alex Pretti, a U.S. citizen and registered Veterans Affairs nurse in Minneapolis. Federal officials said Pretti had a gun and intended to, quote, kill law enforcement. We know that was a lie. Black people always know white people that's in law enforcement be lying. They know judges lie. They know prosecutors lie. They know their defense attorneys lie. Lie, 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 lie. How many of y'all know that they are a liar? The real devil, not that fake book. When the Bible's talking about the devil is a lie, I'm not talking about the fake, corrupted books that we so love and call the devil. When we say that the devil is a lie, we talking about the real devil is a lie. We didn't say that the devil lies. When I say the devil is a lie, I'm saying that the devil is the lie. I've said this many times over the years. When I say that the real devil is a lie, it don't mean I'm not talking about somebody that tells a lie. When I say that the devil is a lie, I'm talking about his essence is a lie. When his x-ray come by, the x-ray come out with L-I-E, the bone structure is shaped like a lie. In Hebrew, it come out with the word lie. In Arabic, it translates into lie. When I say that the devil is a lie, the real devil, them folks, the oppressing class is a lie. I'm saying that when they sneeze, it's a sneeze lie. The sneeze is a lie. When they park, when they parallel park, that parallel park is a lie. When they getting ready for work and putting their shoes on, the shoe is a lie. The toothpaste is a lie. The floss is a lie. When they hug their wife, that's the lie. The hug is a lie. The essence, they lie. They make up. They don't tell lie. They are a lie. Stop laughing. That's real. Y'all ready? I'm getting to it. What did I say? The federal official said Pretti, the white man that they killed, had a gun and intended to, quote, kill law enforcement. But videos and witness account in federal court show Pretti holding a phone, not brandishing a fire weapon. Hours after the fatal shooting, Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley in South California took to X and said, if you approach law enforcement with a gun, there is a high likelihood there will be legally justified in shooting you. Don't do it. Other members of the Trump administration argued that peaceful protesters don't show up with guns. Now, this is where I'm going with this. Y'all ready for this? What guns right group do y'all think this referring to? It took us a minute to get there. Why y'all laughing at me? This is serious. I'm serious. I want y'all to know I'm not lying. Are we back, family? Are we back, family? Wait, let's see. Family, are we back? Are we back, family? Okay. We lost a few hundred of our people, but I see somebody saying yes, yes, yes. Okay. Family, yo, baby, I think we got the plugs right, baby. Ain't no stopping, baby. Ain't no stopping. Y'all, I was this close from clicking the whole thing off. Shout out to Spirit, baby. I was clicking and clacking and somebody said, we back, we back, we back. Okay, fam, we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going. Thank you. Look, a couple of y'all still hung out, baby. Oh, y'all do love me. How y'all gonna wait that long not knowing what was gonna happen? There was a whole blackout in this month, baby. I was doing all kind of trials and tests. Trying to get it together. Y'all, we back, y'all. I love you back. Okay, we can get to where you was going, baby. Before I was finna get to this curse of him. What was I saying? Talk black to me, somebody. I was talking about, oh, yes. See, right when I was talking about the NRA, huh? Thank you. Thank you. Because I'm talking about different. I don't want to just talk about the obvious as it relates to this white supremacy, falling right before our eyes and they crashing in and imploding on each other after we warned them that this was going to happen. Yes. He said, I just got to work at this post office. It ain't nothing else. Oh, bless your heart, baby. We here, Cool Keezy. We here, precious. Somebody said, only Miss Vicki. I love y'all. Y'all hung out with me, baby. Some folks dropped off, but that's okay. We still here. Look at this. Look at this. Watch this, family. What was I saying? So in addition, I said the NBA then came to its defense, right? I said the courts immediately filed an order, issued an order to the agencies not to tamper with the evidence, not to destroy the evidence, right? I talked about how bipartisan, both Republican and Democrat have called for this thing, for justice and for a full investigation, all that, right? I'm trying to show you all the stuff that white folks do for each other they would never, ever do for us, right? Who else am I talking about now? I'm going back to this USA Today article, remember? I told you, I already showed you the headline about the gun rights group because the headline didn't say who it was, but you got to read through the article to find out who they talking about. Guess what they talking about? Y'all see it there? It says several prominent gun rights groups took issue with the Saley statement, including who? The National Rifle Association. Who is the National Rifle Association, family? Hey, Vicki, I'm a big fan from London, UK. I love my UK family. Shout out to you, precious. Welcome. Family. The National Rifle Association, the NRA, right? Y'all ain't ready? I don't want you to think I'm making up what they said. Y'all see, this is the next. I'm going to read it to you, but just look so you know I ain't making it up. The NRA issued a statement, quote, this sentiment from the first assistant U.S. attorney for the Central District of California is dangerous and wrong, the NRA said on X. Responsible public voices should be awaiting a full investigation, not making generalizations and demonizing law-abiding citizens. Gun Owners for America said in the statement, that's another one, family, that its leaders, quote, condemn the untoward comments by Asaley. Quote, federal agents are not highly likely to be legally justified in shooting concealed carry licenses who approach while lawfully carrying a firearm, the group said. The Second Amendment protects Americans' right to bear arms while protesting, a right the federal government must not infringe. U.S. Representative Thomas Massey, Kentucky, also blasted Asaley's comments, writing on X, carrying a firearm is not a death sentence. It's a constitutionally protected God-given right. And if you don't understand this, you have no business in law enforcement or government. Fam, let me ask y'all something. How many times have our Black brothers and sisters died at the hands of state-sponsored murder and death police? How many of you all are used to the NRA coming out, as well as not only the NRA, but the Gun Owners for America? How many of you are used to Republican congressmen coming out with the quickness and defending Black folks that had a gun? How many of y'all know that even if a Black person had a lawful licensed gun, whether they had an unlicensed gun, watch this, and in most cases, didn't have one at all because white folks lied and said they had one? How many of y'all know? Even I told you over the years, let's stop saying so-and-so didn't have a gun. I told some of us to stop saying that crap because we're allowed to have guns in America. White people know that better than anybody. How many of you all are used to gun lobbies coming out with the quickness 5 minutes later with no questions asked? Talking about the deceased right to have a firearm. Who's just said Philando Castile? How many of y'all know that? How many of y'all used to lily white, powerful, some of the largest gun lobbies in the United States coming out with the quickness? They not just coming out defending this Pretti's right to be a lawful gun owner. They're rebuking a government official, the U.S. attorney that said that. Black family, why is Vicki bringing up all these different parts that I fear we might be missing? You are seeing judges, gun rights groups, NBA. You are seeing all of these white institutions come together. You're seeing the media come together and dominate the headlines with Mr. Pretti. I am not at all saying that his death was justified, but I am telling you that Black folks don't get this benefit of the doubt, and we don't get this level of respect and attention like they do. Why? Because they never intended to implode like this. And white folks are imploding, Black family, because the unseen government has got our back. And it is time for their long injustice to come to an end. And it's happening like this because they will not do the right thing for the right reason. And white folks didn't do it. Even when Black folks said, we forgive you, before our dead was even buried. When we pleaded with them, we saw footage of our family, George Floyd. And you saw Black mammies like Candace Owens justifying their death. You saw white folks all over the place justifying his death. To this day, when I'm on social media, if I bring up Candace Owens in the context of George Floyd, do you know that I get the worst bots and some of the most vile comments when I bring up Candace Owens and George Floyd? But white folks ain't got nothing to say like that whenever she's talking about, or whenever Zionism is in them come up now. Because white folks, it's safe to talk about the Zionists now. The white folks talking about it. But when I was going off on them folks years and years ago, it wasn't popular. Somebody said, Sonya Massey, yes. Now, let me ask y'all something. Why is Vicki bringing all this up? I want to bring up something else. Y'all know I got to do it like this. Just hang out with me. I'm almost done. One final thing. How many of you all know that a lot of the techniques that white police used in some of the cases where our family was fatally shot and killed, or they were seriously injured? How many of you all know? How many of you all know what foreign government, let me ask you, have you heard me teach about over the years, was involved in the training? Somebody just said, say it, Vicki. You already know how I'm going to do this. What foreign government, whoever just said it, Nice Rex said it, Israel. Watch this. Watch this. This is an article from a few years ago, from 2020, from the American Council for Judaism. What does this headline say? I specifically used this one versus looking for another article that I'm used to quoting from because it came from one of them. Let me turn it this way because it's better this way so y'all can see it. What does this headline say from American Council for Judaism say? What does that headline say, family? What does it say, family? Are y'all listening? Somebody just said, Vicki, take your time. You speaking a word. Listen, military-style training of U.S. police by Israel comes under criticism. What did I say? I said this was from 2020, this article. But they've been doing this for a long time. And I need to remind you all of this because you all think this ain't got nothing to do with us. Are y'all listening? In the wake of the death of George Floyd, this article is talking about this. Remember, I told you it's from 2020, so y'all listen. In the wake of the death of George Floyd at the hands of what officer, family? What police? Just as a reminder, family, just a reminder. That's all I'm doing. What does it say? Look at the article. What does it say? So you know I ain't making it up. Minneapolis. In the wake of the death of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis police officers and similar police killings in various parts of the country, criticism is growing of the manner in which the U.S. police departments are being trained by Israel. The Jewish Voice for Peace, known as JVP, Health Advisory Council declared in June that, quote, in this moment, as we share the fight on police violence we have in the U.S., we also cannot fail to reaffirm our opposition to the actions of the Israeli police and military, which often act jointly as the agents of social control in Palestine. Who put them big old Buckeyes in the chat? Y'all better listen. You must be crazy. Which often acts as, what did I say? Jointly as the agents of social control in Palestine. What else? The U.S. provides $3.8 billion of military aid to Israel each year. Additionally, many police departments, let me say it again. Additionally, many police departments from cities across the U.S. Y'all think I'm making this up? Look at then I read it because I always got to do this because so that people know it's no exaggeration. Don't need to. Before I read it, y'all see what it says? Additionally, y'all see it? Many police departments, how many? Many from cities across the U.S. contract for military-style training from the Israeli military. Y'all see that? Okay, I just making sure and stop. Whoever just said Atlanta, that's exactly right. That Atlanta compound down there ain't nothing but a training base for murder. In our estimation, based on our belief, the function of it, in our opinion. Watch this. Additionally, the many police departments from cities across the U.S. contract for military-style training from the Israeli military. It is hard to comprehend the level of disinvestment in human potential that the choice of funding allocation produces. The JVP points out that the latest indiscriminate shooting by the Israeli police occurred on May 30th, causing the death of this Iyad Halik. Halik, a young man with autism, was walking through his East Jerusalem neighborhood towards school and was killed when police accused him of carrying a weapon, which he did not have, according to the JVP. It goes on talking about that situation with the Palestinian in Palestine, right? The next paragraph, like U.S. police, Israeli military policing of Palestinians is characterized by the use of lethal force and dangerous, less than lethal munitions such as tear gas and other chemical weapons, rubber bullets, and sound projectiles. The 2016 report from the Israeli human rights group B Teslim That's some kind of Hebrew there, I think, states that Israel's military law enforcement system is a whitewash mechanism. Most cases continue to be closed with no measure taken. In recent years, police officers, and I just want y'all to see this one last paragraph. I'm going to stop because it's a little bit long in this, but this is the most important, not the most, but one of the most important parts of the article. What does it say? Where it says in recent years, y'all see that? In recent years, police officers from Florida, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, California, New York, Arizona, and other states have been sent to Israel for military-style training. Others are trained by Israelis within the United States. Even the U.S. Capitol Police have been trained by Israelis. Since 2002, the Anti-Defamation League, it says, in Jewish Americans and institutes, Jewish institutes, national security affairs have paid for police officers to train. I need y'all to listen good. In Israel and the occupied territories. This is taking place despite the fact that Amnesty International and the U.S. Department of State have cited Israeli police for carrying out extrajudicial executions, which means killing. That's a little sexy legal word for killing. Unlawful, illegal murder. That's what that means. But cute. They say it cute. Extrajudicial executions and other unlawful killings using ill treatment and torture, even against children, and suppression of freedom of speech. This is not nothing, and this is not a one-off, family. Are y'all listening? Keep that in mind when we're dealing with these murders. Why am I bringing that up too? Because I ain't going to talk about this right now. When I tell you all to come to my offline webinars, and when you all start hearing testimonies of people that be saying that Vicki be breaking it down like don't nobody else break it down, that's real talk. It don't be no cap. That's what spiritual voices like mine that's appointed to talk about stuff like this do. You don't never hear me sit up here talking about I'm a professional, this, that, and the third, and I went to school for X, Y, and Z. No, ninja, I'm a divine channel. That's what makes it effective. Teacher Vicki, you are amazing. Whoever's saying it, I love you back. Watch this. I want you to keep that in mind because one of the things I connect dots when I'm doing my offline webinars is what? You guys are out of your mind if you don't think there's a connection between why several years ago, high-level Israeli government officials were secretly caught on video stating that the number one enemy to their country, Israel, are Black American youth. Now, when you hear that a large number of law enforcement are being trained by Israelis in the United States and over there in Israel. By the way, they didn't tell you, they use the cute word law enforcement, but some of them are also Mossad. Mossad is Israel's equivalent to our CIA. Y'all know that, right? Watch this. What you all don't understand, when I said a minute ago, how come Candace Owens isn't calling for an investigation into the high-level Israeli official that said that the number one enemy to their country were Black American youth, FBA's Foundation of Black Americans? Before October 7th, they said that. Watch this. Because what they don't want you to know, and I have said this, Israel operates as a laundering country for the United States. And I can't say too much more online about that. I didn't say company. I didn't say no laundering company. Did I say a laundering company? No, I said laundering country. And when unlike most people you ever hear, I've been talking about this for a long time and I keep talking about it, but some of you all think you know so damn much. You think you're so smart than Vicki Dillard. And then when you come to my stuff, you be like, where'd she get this from? Israel does not have a constitution. Did y'all know that? Israel does not have a solid, codified, official constitution. And that's all I'm going to say about that. You think Every time we say, why have we been giving them billions and billions of dollars since their existence, practically, in almost 70 some years of their existence? Why have we been giving them welfare? You don't get it. When I make my announcement for my next Ancestors webinar, when I make my announcement for my next webinar, special webinar, you need to be there. Because I don't go into detail about this kind of stuff online. But one of the things I will say is this. I'm reading now from this book called By How White Folks Got So Rich. Now, what is Vicki talking about with the cursive hand? Watch this. Is it page 26 or 36? In this book, did y'all know I quote from about how white folks got so rich? I got larger books, but it was easier for me to get to this point because I'm not trying to go crazy right now online. This section is specifically talking about religious racism and the cursive hand. Now, I know I'm going to have some Hebrew Israelites. I know, no disrespect. I love my Hebrew Israelites family. I know I'm going to have some of you all that say you this or that and messianic and other stuff. Family, please don't get off into all that. Don't start trying to be extra technical with me about tribal stuff and what tribe is this, that, and the third. Let's focus on the general understanding of where I'm coming from with this. You understand? I'm not trying to be extra technical here. I'm trying to show you that the general understanding and idea of this notion of the cursive hand within the context of the general understanding, I'm trying to show you how that mindset undergird murder of Black folks. And I want you all to see how this kind of stuff is backfiring in the hearing now. Are you listening? Yep, they are a state. Whoever just said that. Watch this. Listen. Listen. On page 36, it says that, is this the one I want to start at? Before I start there, side note, I'm just trying to show you all when everybody keeps talking about, and I'm not trying to be funny with this. I was listening to some international news recently. And even when I was listening to this international commentator, I won't say who, it's an alternative media. But even listening to some of the international commentators, one of the things that he was talking about was basically how what's happening to the Palestinian people by them folks, we're going to say, is basically unprecedented. Let me tell you something. Before the creation and the invention of that place they call Israel, notice how I said that, Black folks were dealing with their influence here in the United States. Don't you ever forget also, as a separate matter, Black folks served in every war in the United States. I said every war. And on both sides, for one reason or another, hoping for freedom and hoping for some sort of merit. But I'm not going to get into the reasons, but I'm just saying, let's be clear. There is no war the United States ever fought that we weren't involved in it and weren't integral to it. Listen, Black folks, while under Jim Crow, FBAs, as we call ourselves, many of us, Black Americans, Foundation of Black Americans, while we couldn't pee in the same toilet, while we were still being lynched, some of us took our hips to Germany to free some of you from Hitler. And as I said, when we was in DC, only for white Jewish people to come to the United States and turn around and call us anti-Semitic. We're uncheckable. And don't you ever find yourself disrespecting us. Let me tell you something. Aside from even all that, and I barely touched the surface of that. Y'all know I ain't even touched the surface of that. And for good reason, right? Y'all know I'm being very careful online, yes? Now, everybody talking about Zionism now. So y'all know I don't even normally say this much because everybody's allowed to say some stuff now because it's popular now. But even then, I'm still not going to go further. Because Black folks always have a deeper case than anybody else. That's just the real. Listen. In this section, I'm gonna go back to page 36 in a minute, but in this section on sharecropping, how many of you all have heard me discuss sharecropping before? Y'all are so sweet. What you guys got to understand, again, this is all connected to the fall of the United States that we're seeing right before our eyes. But I'm trying to show you some of the spiritual undercurrents. You understand? It seems like what I'm saying now is separate, but it's actually directly connected to the fall of the United States that we're seeing before our eyes. Listen, in this section, it's about sharecropping. It says sharecropping was what? It's a system of forced farming based on endless debt bondage. Are you listening, Black family? Sharecropping, y'all have heard me discuss this many times before, right? Sharecropping is a system of forced farming based on endless debt bondage. But how many of you all in the chat know where it was first outlined? So you don't think I'm making up what I'm fixing to read. What does it say there? Where was it first outlined, sharecropping? Y'all know I just do receipts. That's it. I'm just this little country girl from Mississippi. That's all. I'm just a country girl from Mississippi. The Jewish holy book, the Talmud. Sharecropping was set up throughout the South to continue to reap the profits and the horrors of plantation slavery long after its legal end in 1865. Are y'all listening? I'm not going to go too far with this, and y'all know why. The ex-slaves, highly skilled in agriculture, that was us, right? Some of us, never received the 40 acres and a mule they were promised by General O.O. Howard, the white founder of Howard University, by the way, family, to build their own independent economic foundation. Instead, they were forced into a system that benefited mostly Jewish immigrant merchants who flooded the South after the Civil War to exploit the highly profitable cotton economy. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. Y'all know I'm going to break it down like nobody else will. But we're going to leave that alone. That's all I'm going to say. Now let me skip to page 36. Just be quiet and listen in the back of your head. Just be quiet and listen to that in the back of your head. With all the different moving parts that I just talked about, keep this in mind. What does page 36 say? The philosophical foundation for nearly, and this is why I wanted to bring up the curse of Ham. Y'all listening? The philosophical foundation for nearly, what does this paragraph say? For nearly what? Wait a minute, which page is this? Let me turn it this way because I'm confusing myself. Oh, here it is. For nearly what? Just tell me what the next few words is. For nearly what? The philosophical foundation for nearly what? The philosophical foundation for nearly all of America's destructive actions and policies. Y'all with me now? The philosophical foundation for nearly all of America's most destructive actions and policies has been a religious one. From the bellicose doctrines of, quote, just wars and what? Manifest destiny. How many of y'all been hearing about manifest destiny in the news lately with Trump and his funny looking self and stuff like the Monroe Doctrine and all that other kind of stuff? That's another story, but we're going to leave it alone. Just keep that in mind. Used to justify what? The Holocaust against the Indians, it says here, to the cross-burning terrorism of the, quote, Christian Ku Klux Klan. At one time, slavery victimized, it says, all races and peoples, but the African possessed the qualities of intelligence, strength, and resilience that put them in high demand by the international slave merchants. Medieval rabbis, many of whose Jewish congregants were slave traders, actually altered the biblical tale of Noah in the book of Genesis to create the curse of Ham myth that presumed to describe the origin of Black people. They reinterpreted the story to make it appear that God had cursed the sinful people with black skin, marking them forever as the permanent slaves of white people. All major religions adopted this racist idea and liberally used it to justify endless racial holocausts, genocides, and repressive policies. It is the very foundation of the most profitable Caucasian enterprise in the history of the planet, the European trade in Black human beings. All, and this book puts it in all caps, all white wealth can be traced to its profoundly evil, rabbinical concoction known as the Hamitic myth. There's a quote here from Rabbi Moses. It says that applying the curse of Ham myth in 1190 AD, where it's a quote from him that says, quote, "The Negroes found in the remote South and those who resemble them from among them that are with us in these climes, CLIME. The status of those is like that of irrational animals. To my mind, they do not have the rank of men, but have among the beings a rank lower than a rank of man, but higher than the rank of apes. For they have the external shape and ligaments of a man and a faculty of discernment that is superior to that of apes." I don't have time to go further now, and I'm not going to go further on purpose. When I start doing my ancestors webinar, when I start doing my other special webinars, make sure that you sign up and make sure you don't miss it. People that are part of the Vicki Dillard Mystery School always get this kind of stuff. They get the heaviest and the best of the best. And most importantly, they get the spiritual solutions and spiritual insights. I don't just give historical stuff. I don't spend my time just talking about historical stuff in my schools. I give you spiritual and universal magic, but sometimes and oftentimes I lace it with there. Listen, the reason I wanted to read that is because it said that this spiritual infection, I call it, is the underbelly behind all basic terrorism and persecution of Black people in particular. Y'all understand that? Lord, you're beautiful. Somebody said, y'all are so sweet. Thank you kindly, beloved. This is what I want you to keep in mind. That the stuff that you see now, and the reason why you see white folks defending this white man in their white lives, that the only ones that they say that matters is theirs. The reason why you see these concerted efforts amongst white folks, and they're outraged that one of their own, back to back, is being openly murdered, is because they've always seen us in the light, whether they're religious or not, but they've all seen us through that prism and that filter of this notion of this curse of Ham, inferior. And white folks are also outraged because they can't believe their own is doing it. The reason why they can't believe that their own is doing it, look, y'all, it's because there is an unseen army. Whereas we don't have to have certain weapons in our hands at this juncture, Black family. And I'm definitely not telling you not to be armed. Because we don't believe in turn our other cheek over here, baby. Not when you murder us, baby. But what I am saying is that when we activate our divine spiritual connections, there are other spiritual armies, other spiritual forces that work on our behalf. And look at me in my face. Look at me. And there is nothing that the United States can do about it. Not when we get on code together. Not when we act together. And not when we activate both our spiritual and our natural powers. I said there ain't nothing, and don't you ever be confused about it. This is what I teach in my spiritual school. This is always the underlying thing that I teach. It is a myth to believe that our open enemies are somehow smarter and more intelligent than us. Some of them are the newest people on our planet. We have temporary amnesia. We have forgotten our magic. And some of you all have demonized your own magic. You can call it demonic and accepted a blonde hair, blue-eyed, stringy haired Jesus. And the moment I start talking about ancient Black spiritual systems, and if I tell you that your ancient mothers prophesied and they're the ones whose books and words the whole world fought over, you would fight me against your own Black mama to defend a sick white system and its interpretation and its corruption of your so-called sacred books. Talk Black to me, somebody. I've got to run. It's so late. And I've got to do some medical stuff right now. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in so late. But I want you to say, watch the whole thing, y'all, even with the disruption we had. Some of y'all hung out with me. Thank you so much. I intentionally brought up the NBA. I intentionally brought up the NRA. I intentionally brought up the curse of Ham. I intentionally brought up these different, what seems to be disparate points, but they're all interconnected to the fall of the United States that we're seeing right before our eyes through law enforcement. And I'm trying to get you to understand it's not by accident. And I'm trying to get you to understand that those who you deem to be the most powerful, they're falling. But it's important that you get in where you fit in terms of the spiritual community that you're connected to, so that you're remade and that you're under and in an environment where there's a different type of word. You can't change your world if you don't change the word. There's only one letter that's the difference between the word word and the word world. Everything you see came from everything you can't see. There's no religious system, there's no spiritual system that does not put an emphasis on the power of sound, frequency, and word, because everything came from there. So it matters who you hear and what you hear. And it most importantly matters how often you hear it. So when I'm talking about the Vicki Dillard Mystery School, it doesn't matter what your background is and your religions are. I teach from universal principles. So everything that I say is applicable to your day-to-day lives. When I'm involving you in mentioning something, even if you've never heard of it, even if you don't understand it, it would be in your best interest to inquire. Let me tell you something, Black family. We're more than what meets the eye. You ought to be trying to figure out what that is. Somebody said Trump is fulfilling the prophecy to a degree, and I get why some people say that. He's a type of sledgehammer. But it ain't just Trump. I'm fulfilling prophecy. And how do you know we ain't pimping him? You gotta switch even something as quote unquote simple as that. Quit putting that piece of you know what in that place. Damn it! I said I'm the Ancient of Days. Skull and Bones ain't older than your Black mamas. Fix that. I almost said shit. Fix that shit. I gotta talk to you all this way because some of you all don't understand that even in things that seem to be subtle and unimportant, there's a spiritual problem with what you say. And when I use certain words that sound polite, how many of you all know that your brain receives things? So if I'm telling you something in a monotone and in a polite way, you won't understand the urgency or the importance of what I say. And I'm tired of talking to you like a weak little Christian. That's not a sign of you being moral and ethical. I said, that's not a sign of you being moral and ethical. That's the reason why too many of us are asleep and weak. Trump in the place as if he is prophecy. He has his role there, yes, but not over. He don't outrank me. None of them do. And this is a sickness I'm trying to change in the mind of our people. The tables are turning. Don't you get it? That's the reason why most of you are still shook. Because you, quote unquote, can't believe that they mess it up like this. If I tell you, get behind me, Satan. Stop putting Trump in that place without also putting me in my place. And when I say me in my place, I'm talking about the ancient, dark, cosmic, ancient of days. To the degree he's in prophecy, it's because I put his hands there. And using him like a pimp. How about I'm pimping him? And when I say I'm pimping him, I'm talking about all of them that you give power to. Y'all know all the symbols and signs. Y'all know all the occult stuff. Y'all know all the little stuff that you all claim that they doing, but you ain't got no solutions. Listen to your mama. Come to my schools and get my stuff. That's the force I move in. I'm done with that. See, this is the reason why I can talk to a Robert F. Kennedy the way I talk to him. See, y'all missed the deepness of that. When I dealt with Robert F. Kennedy, do you know I invoked his lineage? I brought up his family to his face. Made it clear to him what my ancestors was trying to do related to his lineage. Boy, sit your hands down. Y'all got this twisted. You mixed up. Y'all gotta get out them little circles you listen to. I'm on something else. Like the world, the galaxy and stuff. That's mine. That was always ours. But they stole it. So you got to change, even if you're talking about prophecy, talking about how I'm pivoting him in the prophecy, because I prophesied it. That's what you get to say about Trump in prophecy. You ain't the mother tongue. You see? You ain't the ancient of days. You a thief and a supplanter. And you sitting in the seat that I'm telling you to get your ass up out of. And now I'm snatching the scepter and the robe and telling you to get your funny looking self up off my seat, fool. Get off my furniture. This is my house. What you mean the house? The world, the planet, the whole planet. Man, get up, get up, get up. Get your. It don't smell right, but you on it too. Just a side note. But we know that about y'all. That's another big sign. Talk back to me, somebody. Get your out my seat. So y'all better change how you talk. Stop putting that ninja on my pedestal. You better get out, ninja. I know I got my work cut out for me just dealing with y'all. I understand. I'm raised. I know. I get it. But I'm finna give you this energy, this hard, strong energy you're going to keep getting from me. That's what you get. That's how this go. I love y'all so much. I talked about different things, but try to just meditate on some of the things that I said today and their interconnection. And I intentionally brought up some certain names, certain groups, and I intentionally cut it off because I don't go deep online. Y'all know, for obvious reasons. But when I do my offline webinars and to join the Vicki Dillard Mystery School to go further with me, this is the path that we're on. And there is nobody that outranks the cosmic dark goddess. And there's nobody that can get the new world rulers better than us. Period. Point blank. That's from a biological point. That's from a physiological point. And that's from a magical point, a cosmic point. In every realm, the people that you revere are brand spanking new. And stuff's happening because their time is up. I love you back. Get your calendars, family. Your New Year's calendar. Everybody get it. Everybody get it and buy a bunch of them. Yes. Go to VickiPlanet.com. The link is pinned above. VickiPlanet.com. You can join my monthly mastermind school. It's a very low cost school. Go to my website. You just scroll down. You'll see where to sign up. And everybody here needs to make sure that you're on my email list. Go to VickiPlanet.com. That's my website. When you go to VickiPlanet.com, scroll down to the end of the website. It'll ask you to input your email. Why do I ask you to do that? When I start doing my other international commentary on the other network, ANDC, African Diaspora News Channel, when you start seeing some other things I'm going to be doing that I'm not announcing just yet, which is a bunch of stuff. How many of y'all know I manifest when I say I'm going to do it? I'm taking care of myself behind the scenes. And when things are properly supposed to roll out, just like my special academies rolled out, just like my magazines are rolling out, and just like other projects that I've got planned throughout 2026 are rolling out, the way you know about it directly outside of these limiting platforms, yes, is when you're on my email list. So go to VickiPlanet.com and make sure you check your emails. Also, go to my text. Somebody put my text. Let me see if I can put it in the chat. 303-529. Join my text list. What is it? 303-529-2572. 303-529-2572. 303-529-2572. Can y'all see it there? That's my text list, 303-529-2572. Everybody here needs to be on my text list. When you're on our text list, when you're on my email list, don't y'all know if I'm not on a certain platform anymore, like you all know, you all sending me on so many other places. The way you can directly keep up, just take that little bit of initiative to stay in touch. Don't tell me you value the word and you don't take a few minutes to be inconvenienced to punch in an email, to punch in your phone number so you can be on my text list. That's crazy. Somebody said, Kathy, get your ass. Who cussing out somebody named Kathy? What Kathy say, child? Baby, I don't even care what them little demons say. Oh, I see her there. Bless her little heart to my Kathy. She need a wig, precious. Yeah, she don't like these braids. And that's such a weirdo. Ain't there some people can clearly see their braids? Now, from a distance, I know it's hard to tell sometimes, but everybody knows Vicki wears braids. But they think they hurt my feelings by calling it a wig. Ain't that something? Ain't y'all sick and twisted and dumb like that? You know, it's a little mental illness going on. Don't nobody like you and want you. The only reason why anybody at all in the whole wide world know you exist is because you got to go on random lives and use your fingers and type something crazy. So we acknowledge your weak, weird existence. Somebody please acknowledge their existence. And then for my sisters and ladies that wear wigs, and my men that's just out here with all these toupees on, how does that make you feel knowing that somebody feels like that they dogging me when they use the word wig? Ain't that something? And if they are in their right minds, which most of them can't be, it's impossible to be in your right mind. When we talk about revolution and you talking about wigs, we know you mentally, it's just off. You disturbed and possessed. We know something is wrong with you when you want to dog somebody's hair. Isn't that crazy? And other people that wear wigs, what do you think you're saying about them other people when you say some crazy stuff like that? Somebody please acknowledge that weirdo's existence. Please say, hey, weirdo, weirdo, weirdo. Hey, weirdo. We acknowledge your little weak link existence. Talk black to me. Talk black to me. Poor little thing. Poor little thing. Just up late at night, found something that said live and say, somebody please give me a run for my money. So we acknowledge your little weak existence, little poor, little pathetic, little terrible, little horrible, little loser, little old loser, little precious, little old loser, little old loser. Just feel like I could just put you in my arms, just rock you to sleep and just throw you in the trash. Not a cradle, but a trash. Somebody put some trash in the chat. What's some little trash cans? Let's end this off right. Pull a little trash. Pull on little trash. Little stinking little trash. Little poor little trash. I hope I made your day by acknowledging you, little trash. I love y'all. Y'all, I'm so silly. Why am I acting like I'm talking to my family members? I love y'all so much because you are family. I can't wait to see you again.